Today I'm going to show you how to put a super pretty lily theme greeting card. I gotta say, it's turning out really cute and delicate. We'll be curling each petals to make the flowers look more realistic and 3D. We're also using foam board to give it more depth and life. The card measures 9.5 cm by 14.5 cm. And yes, there's an envelope included, so you can safely tuck it in and keep it protected. Alright, so let's dive right in.
Alright, here I'm preparing a piece of paper sized 9.5 by 15 centimeters. But if you're using the imperial system, that's about 3.74 by 5.91 inches. Fold it in half gently, just like you're making a small book. And make sure the fold is neat so it opens like a booklet. This is going to be our main card base. Next, we work with the design. First, the fairy base. I'm using dark purple here because I think it makes the colors on top pop more. But of course, you can use any color you like. Apply glue all over the back and stick it onto your base paper, aligning it carefully with the edges of the folded paper. Press gently and make sure nothing sticks out. Let's move on to the grass layer. This will add dimension and some grounding to our design. Take your dark green piece, apply glue along the edges, and you will position it just right at the bottom of the card base. Press it gently to keep it in place and double check that the glue covers the entire area. Again, press it gently. You don't want to warp the paper with too much pressure or too much glue. This next part is pretty fun. We're using foam board. Here's a little trick. When working with foam board, press it down onto a wider area of the paper for better support. Foam boards usually have a decent surface, so if you stick it to a thin area, it will stick out and look bad. Peel off the backing if that's what it's called. Swipe off the baking paper scraps to clear the workspace. And gently place it above the grass area. Press it nicely until it sticks well. Now for the fun but slightly time-consuming part is working the small details. We are starting with a single petal. We have two layers here. Glue the first layer, then combine it with the second one. Press it gently and set it aside. Grab another foam board. Place it to the back of the petal. Peel the backing and stick it onto the next spot. It should look 3D, thanks to the foam. Here's another petal. I'm using red, but feel free to use any color you like. Purple, blue, whatever fits your vibe, or even mix a few shades together if you're feeling bold. This whole project is super customizable. You can change things up however you want. There are no strict rules here. The sizes, the colors, it's totally up to you. Go soft and pastel or bright and vibrant. It's all about your style. You can go big or small. Layer them, space them out, try new shapes. Experimenting is part of the fun. We're just giving suggestions, but I'm sure you're super creative and can make it your own. Back to the petals. I'm now working on the larger ones, which I enjoy more, because tiny pieces can get a bit overwhelming. Don't get me wrong, I love crafting, but yeah, it can be a little much sometimes. Anyway, press it gently, and I have a fun little tip coming up. Before that, let's finish attaching this petal. Here's the tip. If you have a small container with a narrow tip for your glue, it will help you work on tiny details with zero mess. Seriously, this was a game changer for me. I got mine for about $1 at Walmart, but I'm sure you can find even cheaper ones. Now, glue on the next petal. And press it down gently. My glue's kind of making those stringy spiderweb things. I don't know why, but you can definitely find a better glue than mine. Here's another trick. You can curl your petals to make them more dimensional. You can just use your fingers, or if you want to be a bit extra, use a tool. I'm using a small curling tool, but a spoon or fork works just fine too. Curl each petal slightly so it looks more alive and dynamic. Repeat that for all your petals, this one, that one, and the others too. See how it gives life to the whole piece? It's such a small detail, but it really makes everything feel more dynamic. Alright, turns out it's called a pistil in English. Pistil? Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. This part isn't boring at all. There aren't too many pistils to work with. I just curl each one, glue it to the corner, and attach it to the petal. You'll repeat this process for the other pistils too. I recently found out that lilies have pistils. Well, I guess most flowers do. Anyway, I've already curled them, and now you'll just see me placing them onto each petal to add some nice detail. Now, we're working on the lettering, which is actually the most fun part of this project. It took nearly half of the video just to place all the words. I used 2 layers for each word, a base layer and a top layer to make the text pop and stand out more. The first word is May. Can you guess the full sentence? Leave a comment with your guess. Here comes the second word. It's definitely tricky because we're working with such thin pieces. But honestly, the petal base helped a lot here. If this part feels too complicated, you can totally just write your message with a pen or print the entire sentence instead of doing it word by word like I did. You'll probably make it look even better. This is just a quick video showing the process. Even though I have some experience, I still struggle with small details sometimes. So, don't worry, you got this. The sentence I created is May you bloom. And yes, the next word is S. Just one S, not the other kind, okay? The whole sentence might sound a little cheesy or dramatic, but honestly, it fits the vibe of the card. It adds a bit of charm, you know, a little bit of extra feeling. Of course, you can change the wording to anything you like. Happy birthday, thank you, or even something seasonal. Maybe a little back to school note. Speaking of that, it's back to school season here, and people are starting to exchange card and handwritten messages again. There's something really sweet about that. A little card can mean so much. This could be a lovely way to make yours stand out from the usual ones. Something soft, handmade, and a bit more demure, especially if you're giving it to someone special or someone who appreciates quiet details. Even just a tiny change in wording can shift the entire tone, and that's the beauty of custom cards. So, the full sentence is, May you bloom as pretty as this flower. Let's go, girl, it's done! Here's how the finished text should look. Now, let's move on to making the card including the envelope design. Honestly, the envelope turned out really cute too. Even if you don't put the lily card inside, you could still use this envelope for any kind of note or message. It's versatile and matches the lily theme because of the petal shape. You can definitely experiment with different colors. Now, we're gluing together our DIY envelope. I recommend using thicker cardstock for this part, so it lasts longer. Better paper quality just adds a little extra wow to whatever you're sending. Make sure everything's neat. Press it gently and secure it well. This is how it should look. I'm also adding extra petals using more pink and red to match the lily card and make everything vibrant and cohesive. Because the lily card is very 3D, thanks to the foam board and curl petals, it's a bit tricky to fit inside the envelope. It still fits, but I'm always a little worried it might get crushed. You can absolutely make the card without the foam board if you want. It will still look beautiful, just a little flatter. Honestly, if the design is solid, it will turn out amazing no matter what. So, that's the final result. May you bloom as pretty as this flower.
Alright, it's all for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed making this with me, and if you did, don't forget to tag me on our community when you share it. We've got over 700,000 fellow crafters who'd love to see your creations too. That's it for now, and happy crafting!
Trizzy Craft.